Welcome to this essential training on understanding employee definitions under federal law. Today, we'll explore when probationary employees gain due process and appeal rights under 5 USC 7511. By the end of this training, you'll be able to explain when Title V and hybrid Title 38 probationary employees have adverse action rights, determine what time counts toward completing probation versus becoming an employee, identify different rules for competitive and accepted service employees, and understand what appeal rights employees receive. Before terminating any Title V or hybrid Title 38 employee during their probationary period, you must ask 3 critical questions. First, are they still in their probationary period? Second, do they have prior federal service? And third, do they meet the definition of employee under 5 USC 7511? This third question is crucial because if they meet the employee definition, they're entitled to full due process and appeal rights, even while probationary. The Adverse Action Statute 5 USC 7511 defines exactly who is covered by due process procedures. This isn't just about job titles. It's about specific legal criteria that determines an individual's rights. If someone meets this definition of employee, they cannot be terminated without proper notice, opportunity to respond, and appeal rights regardless of probationary status.
For competitive service employees, the rules are straightforward. They're considered employees under the law if they're not serving a probationary or trial period under an initial appointment, or if they completed 1 year of current continuous service under other than a temporary appointment limited to 1 year or less. Here's a key point. Temporary appointments are those limited to 1 year or less and made to fill short-term needs. The Mitchell versus MSPB case clarified this definition for both Title V competitive and accepted service employees. Accepted service and hybrid Title 38 employees have different rules. For preference-eligible employees in accepted service, they become employees after completing 1 year of current continuous service in the same or similar positions in an executive agency, or in the Postal Service or Postal Regulatory Commission. For non-preference eligible individuals in accepted service, they're employees if they're not serving a probationary period under an initial appointment pending conversion to competitive service, or if they completed 2 years of current continuous service in the same or similar positions under other than a temporary appointment limited to 2 years or less. Prior federal civilian service, including non-appropriated fund service, counts toward completion of probation when 3 conditions are met. The prior service must be in the same agency, such as the Department of the Army. It must be in the same line of work determined by actual duties and responsibilities, and it must contain or be followed by no more than a single break in service that doesn't exceed 30 calendar days. This means someone could have adverse actions right from day one if their prior service meets these criteria. When someone meets the employee definition, they're entitled to full due process. This includes receiving a written proposal explaining the action, having an opportunity to reply orally or in writing, access to evidence supporting the action, and the right to appeal to the Merit Systems Protection Board, also known as MSPB. Remember, these rights apply even if the person is still in their probationary period, as long as they meet the statutory definition of employee. Understanding these distinctions is critical for proper personal actions. When in doubt, consult the reference provided: 5 U.S. Code 7511, 5 CFR 213.315.802, and 316, the VA Handbook 5005, and the Mitchell versus MSPB case. Thank you for taking the time to watch this HRD highlight. For a more in-depth look at this training, you can click on the video on screen from our on-demand library. If you have any additional questions about our trainings or on-demand offerings, you can email us at VISN8HRD@va.gov.